Nothing in this world can defeat you if you learn one thing: how human behavior really works. Most of the time, what blocks people from success isn't some external enemy. It isn't fate. It isn't even bad luck. What holds them back are the illusions they carry and the misunderstandings they never see. If you can cut through those illusions, if you can see human nature for what it really is, you become unstoppable. That's why the lessons of Machiavelli have lasted for centuries. His teachings weren't just clever theories. They were raw observations about people, power, and survival. And when you understand them, you can walk through life with a new kind of clarity. Picture this: a man sits in his car after losing his job. His hands tremble as he holds his phone. He dials his partner and whispers, "I don't know why this happened. I did everything right. I did everything they asked of me." And yet, he's been replaced. Why? Because he was predictable. He lived in a way that others expected. He followed the rules laid out for him. And that's exactly what made him vulnerable. When you become too predictable, life has a way of punishing you. Opportunities slip through your fingers. Others outmaneuver you. You become invisible, replaceable, forgotten. By the time you finish this, you'll see what separates those who rise from those who remain stuck. You'll understand the mindset that turns uncertainty into power. And you'll discover the core principles that have kept Machiavelli's insights alive for over 500 years. But before we go deeper, lock this into your mind. Say it, write it, or repeat it quietly. I control my destiny. Because that's the first step, breaking the illusion of weakness. Why do so many people feel powerless? Why do they believe life is unfair to them? The reason is simple. Society conditions people to play safe, to follow the rules, to never break the script. From the time we're young, we're told, good behavior gets rewarded, loyalty brings respect, and fairness will always win in the end. But ask yourself, does it really? Look at the people you know who always say yes, the ones who avoid conflict at all costs, the ones who sit quietly, waiting for permission before making a move. Where are they now? Most of them are still waiting, still hoping their efforts will finally be noticed, still believing that the world will automatically reward them. Machiavelli saw something most people ignore. The world doesn't automatically reward the quiet, predictable, and obedient. Success goes to those who are sharp, adaptable, and bold. If you're predictable, people use your patterns against you. If you let others decide how you should act, you risk wasting your own potential. Being too good in the way society defines it often makes people invisible. They become stuck because they refuse to see how the system truly works. The system itself isn't broken. It runs on human nature, and human nature rewards those who are strategic. The careful often miss their chance. The bold step forward and take what the timid never dare to touch. That's why Machiavelli once said, "If you must choose, it is safer to be feared than loved." But don't mistake his words. He wasn't telling people to be cruel. He wasn't saying you must manipulate or harm others. What he revealed is that love is fragile, easily broken, while fear, or better said, respect mixed with caution, is far harder to shake. He was teaching awareness. He was pointing at how human behavior truly functions beneath the surface. The illusion of weakness begins when you think the world owes you something. You think your boss should notice your dedication. You think your friends should value your loyalty. You think society should honor your goodness. But the truth is harsh. Nobody owes you recognition. The sooner you understand this, the faster you'll stop wasting energy on false expectations. Instead, you'll put that energy toward protecting your path and building your strength. The first principle is this: see through human nature. Most of life's pain comes from misreading people. We don't see them as they are. We see them as we want them to be. We assume they think like us, value what we value, and care about what we care about. But that's a trap. That's how disappointment creeps in. Every person has their own priorities. Even when someone helps you, they usually gain something from it: recognition, a sense of importance, or their own personal benefit. That doesn't mean they're bad. It just means they're human. And when push comes to shove, people protect their own interests first. This isn't cynicism. It's reality. If you learn to see this, you stop being shocked when others act in ways that protect themselves. Instead, you start making better decisions. You learn to respect kindness, but not depend on it blindly. You learn to offer loyalty, but only where it's truly earned. You learn to trust, but carefully. And that makes you far more adaptable than most. Machiavelli captured this truth when he said, "People are simple. They obey their immediate needs. and a deceiver will always find people willing to be deceived. Think of your own circle, colleagues who complain when you're not around, friends who only call when they want something, relatives who push advice in ways that quietly steer your choices. Are these signs of evil? No, they're signs of human behavior. People act out of fear, desire, and self-interest. It's just the way life works. Once you accept that, you stop taking things personally. You start noticing patterns. You start seeing what motivates others. And when you do, you stop being naive. You become the person who can move through any room with your eyes open. You notice who is genuine and who is not. You notice when generosity comes with strings attached. You notice when someone is guiding you toward their agenda. With that awareness, you can protect your goals without falling for illusions. The overly trusting get used. The overly suspicious end up alone. But the wise person learns balance. They trust selectively, observe deeply, and adapt quickly. That balance makes them powerful. Repeat this and lock it into your mind. I see clearly now. The second principle, control your reactions. Pay attention to this one, because this is where most people give their power away. It's not the failure itself that exposes you, it's how you respond to it. Watch someone lose their temper in traffic. In seconds, their calm disappears. They reveal their impatience, their lack of control. That one moment speaks louder than any words they could say. Think of the last time someone tested your patience. Maybe they criticized your work. Maybe they ignored your input. Maybe they threw doubt on your decisions. What did you do? Did you jump to defend yourself? Did you raise your voice? Did you rush to prove you were right? Every reaction communicates something. If you lose your composure too quickly, people stop seeing strength in you. They see insecurity. They see desperation. They see lack of preparation. Machiavelli put it well. Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few know what you really are. And nothing reveals the real you faster than your reactions. That's why the person who can pause, who can hold their ground in silence for a moment before responding, always has more influence. That pause is power. In that pause, you see clearly. In that pause, you decide on purpose. In that pause, you shape the outcome instead of being controlled by it. This doesn't mean you kill your emotions. It means you use them with strategy. Patience can strengthen your position. Kindness can disarm hostility. Vulnerability can inspire trust. But uncontrolled anger, defensiveness, or panic will always strip you of influence. Practice this. Next time someone questions you, pause, take a breath, count to 3, then respond with intention. You'll notice immediately that people respect you more when you don't let them drag you into chaos. True power lies in controlling your responses, not in reacting to every push. Say it with me. I choose my response. The third principle, combine respect with boundaries. Most people want to be loved, liked, or relied upon, but too much of that leads to a dangerous result, being taken for granted. When people think you'll always be there, they stop valuing you. On the other hand, if you rely only on authority, if you rule only with strictness or intimidation, you create fear but no connection. Fear alone eventually pushes people away. The strongest influence comes from combining both, respect and boundaries. The person who does this right becomes steady and reliable. They aren't harsh, but they aren't pushovers either. They're approachable but not overly available. They show care but also enforce limits. And because of this, people naturally respect them. They know this person cannot be manipulated, but they also know this person is fair. That balance is magnetic. Machiavelli once said, "Love is held by obligation, but obligation breaks the moment it no longer serves people." Fear, however, holds because it carries consequences. And whether we like it or not, this is true. Look around at those who hold influence, bosses, mentors, even close friends people listen to. What do they share? They care, but they also hold firm lines. They know when to say yes and when to say no. So how do you build this? Start by setting boundaries. Don't over-explain when you say no. Step away from people or conversations that waste your energy. Stop doing favors for those who never return them. Protect your time and adjust any relationship that drains you. When you start valuing yourself, others begin valuing you too. And when you're respected, your influence expands. But boundaries must be consistent. They can't be random. They can't come from mood swings. They must come from a clear sense of what matters to you. The person who says yes to everything gets ignored. The person who says no to everything ends up isolated. The person who blends respect with fair boundaries builds lasting influence. Think about someone in your life who constantly tests your patience without even realizing it. Maybe they always show up late to meet you. Maybe they cancel plans last minute with little concern. Or maybe they interrupt you in the middle of your work as if your time doesn't matter. At first, you might tolerate it, hoping they'll change. You might even brush it off, telling yourself they didn't mean any harm. But deep down, it starts to eat away at you because their behavior signals that they don't fully respect your time. This is where boundaries come in. Setting clear time limits isn't about creating conflict or being rude. It's about showing others how you expect to be treated. When people see that you respect your own time, they're far more likely to respect it too. And once they understand your standards, their behavior naturally adjusts. This is how you build a balance of respect and influence without shouting, arguing, or demanding it. Respect doesn't come from begging for it. It comes from carrying yourself in a way that makes it unavoidable. Say it to yourself right now. I command respect naturally. Now, let's talk about something most people dread: setbacks. We've all faced them. You trust a friend and they don't keep their promise. You team up with a colleague and they don't pull their weight. You rely on someone, and when the pressure comes, they let you down. Most people, when this happens, let emotions take over. They get angry, they replay the betrayal in their heads, and they carry that frustration like a heavy weight. But here's the truth: every setback holds information. Every disappointment is a message. When someone lets you down, they're revealing something about themselves, their priorities, their limits, their values, or their lack of them. Machiavelli once noted that people show their true selves most clearly when they think no one is watching or when they feel safe. So when someone breaks a promise, they're not just hurting you, they're exposing who they really are. Think about the last time someone let you down. Instead of just feeling angry, ask yourself, what did their actions reveal about them? Did they show you that loyalty only matters when it's easy? Did they reveal that their words don't match their actions? Did you notice that when things got hard, they cared more about themselves than the commitment they made? That lesson, as painful as it feels in the moment, is actually a gift. It gives you clarity. It helps you see their true pattern. And when you see someone's pattern, you gain the power to predict their future actions. That's what most people miss. They want to believe the best in everyone, and so they ignore red flags. But the person who thrives learns to observe carefully. They notice when words don't match behavior. They recognize when kindness has hidden motives. They see when loyalty is conditional, and by paying attention, they avoid falling into the same trap twice. The point isn't to become paranoid or distrusting of everyone. It's about preparation. When you trust selectively, when you base your judgment on actions instead of promises, you shield yourself from unnecessary pain. And when you use setbacks as teachers, you grow sharper, more resilient, and more capable each time. Over time, you stop seeing disappointment as something that breaks you. You start seeing it as something that strengthens you. Each setback becomes fuel, each betrayal becomes insight, and each failure becomes a lesson in disguise. Whisper this to yourself: setbacks teach me. Another crucial step in becoming unstoppable is learning detachment. Now, most people confuse detachment with not caring, but that's not what it really means. Detachment means caring intelligently. It means you can aim for success, but you're not destroyed if you face failure. It means you can want respect, but you don't beg for approval. It means you can enjoy relationships, but you don't depend on them for your sense of worth. This kind of mindset makes you strong, because desperation makes you weak. The more desperate you are, the easier it is for others to control you. When you need a job desperately, you'll accept disrespect. When you need approval desperately, you'll compromise your values. When you need love desperately, you'll tolerate mistreatment. Neediness makes you predictable, and predictable people are easy to use. Machiavelli understood this well. He explained that people who cling too tightly to how things should be often ruin themselves, because they ignore how things really are. Detachment doesn't mean indifference. It means holding your goals lightly enough that you can pursue them without being crushed if things don't go your way. It means having options for work, for finances, for relationships, for opportunities. When you have options, you're free. And when you're free, you can walk away from anything that doesn't serve you. That ability to walk away is power. Imagine a person who isn't scared to lose. Imagine someone who can look at a bad deal and say, "No, thank you." That person commands respect without even trying. So how do you practice detachment? Start by creating options for yourself. Don't rely on just one source of income or one person's approval. Build your skills so you can always find opportunities. Next, build your internal worth. Develop talents, pursue goals, and create a life that gives you pride, even if nobody else is watching. Finally, practice walking away. Even in small things, step back from conversations that waste your time, decline favors that drain you, end ties with people who disrespect you. The more you practice, the easier it becomes. Over time, you'll notice something powerful. When you don't need validation, you attract respect. When you're not desperate, you become magnetic. Say it with me: I am freely powerful. Now, let's move to one of the most underrated forces in influence: silence and mystery. Have you noticed how the people who say less often hold more weight? The ones who don't rush to explain themselves, the ones who don't announce every plan before acting, the ones who don't reveal every detail of their life, they always seem more respected. That's not an accident. Mystery creates presence. The less people know about you, the more they pay attention when you do speak. The less you explain yourself, the more your words carry authority. But when you overshare, when you tell everyone your every move, you lose that edge. You become predictable, and predictability makes you easy to dismiss. Most people talk too much. They explain when they don't need to. They reveal vulnerabilities that others can use against them. They share plans before they're ready. And then, when things don't work out, their credibility suffers. Silence changes this. When you pause before responding, people notice your composure. When you don't reveal everything, people wonder what you're thinking, and that wonder creates respect. The person who speaks less and listens more is often the one who understands others the most. And the one who understands others always holds the advantage. This doesn't mean becoming cold or antisocial. It means communicating strategically. You can be friendly while keeping your deeper thoughts private. You can be approachable while still being selective about what you share. You can be social without being an open book. The strongest people you know likely practice this. They keep certain details private until the timing is right. They don't justify themselves to people who never asked. They wait until plans are solid before announcing them. And they're comfortable with silence, because silence reveals far more than constant chatter ever could. Remember this: people respect what they can't easily predict, and they value what they can't easily replace. Let this settle into your mind. Mystery is power. Fortune itself also bends to those who are bold. Some people spend their entire lives waiting for perfect conditions, for the right timing, for certainty before moving forward. But perfect conditions almost never come. Meanwhile, the bold create their own timing. They move when others hesitate. They act when others overthink. They step forward when others are still stuck in endless debates. That's why opportunities so often fall into the hands of those willing to act. Machiavelli observed that half of life may be ruled by luck, but the other half is ruled by our own choices. Too many people forget the second half. They spend their lives reacting instead of shaping. They hope for luck instead of creating opportunity. But those who act boldly, even when things are uncertain, carve out a future that the timid will never touch. Being bold doesn't mean being reckless. It means being thoughtful, calculated, and decisive. The real danger isn't taking risks, it's avoiding them completely. The person who never risks, never gains. The person who risks carelessly may stumble, but the one who risks intelligently, again and again, always grows. You don't have to start with giant risks. Start small. Ask for something minor you would normally avoid. Try a small investment. Speak up once in a situation where you'd normally stay silent. Build that muscle gradually. Before every move, ask yourself, what's the worst case scenario? If you can handle it, act. And once you decide, move quickly. Hesitation kills momentum. Boldness creates it. Every attempt, even if it fails, teaches you more than standing still ever could. The bold live lives that the timid can only watch from a distance. Say it firmly: I create my fortune. Finally, let's talk about the ultimate layer of influence: building an untouchable identity. Your reputation is more powerful than you realize. It can open doors money can't. It can create trust that no quick words ever could. And once it's solid, it becomes your shield in every environment. People respect consistency. They respect those who do what they say, who show up when they commit, who don't bend easily to pressure. Every choice you make, every boundary you enforce, every promise you keep, it all shapes your reputation. And once that reputation is strong, it feeds itself. Respect grows into credibility, credibility grows into influence, and influence becomes protection. But reputation without real substance eventually cracks. That's why building an untouchable identity requires self-mastery. You can't just look confident. You must actually become confident. You can't just pretend to be disciplined. You must actually practice discipline until it shapes who you are. Self-mastery starts with self-awareness. You must know your strengths and weaknesses, your triggers and your limits. You can't improve what you refuse to acknowledge. Then comes discipline. Do what you promise yourself you'll do. Keep your word. Show up when you say you will. Discipline builds trust, first with yourself, then with others. And trust is the foundation of influence. Self-mastery also demands self-reliance. Stop looking for other people to give you permission to live fully. Stop depending on others to make you feel worthy. The more you rely on your own abilities, your own skills, your own judgment, the stronger you become. And when you combine this inner strength with a consistent outer reputation, you become untouchable. People can't easily undermine you because your actions back up your words. They can't control you because you're grounded in clarity. They can't sway you because you've trained yourself to stand firm. Becoming untouchable doesn't mean isolating yourself. It means walking into every relationship, every opportunity, every challenge from a place of strength. It means enjoying respect without depending on it. It means celebrating success without being controlled by it. It means being admired without becoming addicted to approval. That's the balance of someone truly powerful, admired, respected, grounded, and free. Say it with me. I am empowered and unstoppable.